Okay.
And action.
Not just yet. Gotta settle. I don't know where I am right now. I feel very close to you.
Hi.
I feel very close to you right now.
All right. Let me know when we're ready.
Okay. I think we're ready. 3, 2, 1. Hello, and welcome to the Flo in the My High Show.
Oh, I gotta learn how to do that. You know?
The little hand motion.
Right. Like, I don't know. Maybe we can do it and join.
And today, I look like absolute basura.
But that's okay.
Yes, it is, considering what today's topic is going to be about.
Yes.
Yes. It's going to be about vaginas, okay?
Vaginas. Okay, yeah.
Like-
There. We just get it out. The pink tunnel of love. The vagina.
I actually compiled like a list of various words for vagina. I'm just like, who knew there were so many words?
Right.
I think the one I hate the most, I hate the term cooter.
Oh, yeah.
I fucking hate it.
Ew.
I hate it so much.
Cooter. What's some of the other ones?
I think twat is really funny.
Twat is hilarious.
Especially when you hear like my super proper like Southern belle aunt talk about
Her twat. Stop it.
No, we were watching True Blood when it first came out. She's like, I don't think I'd feel comfortable with some man just rubbing his sock covered business up against my twat. I was just like,
wow.
I was like,
Jesus. Her twat.
her twat.
The JJ. Her muffin.
Okay. But the reason I look like crap, and the reason why we are comfortably sitting in my dungeon, aka my bedroom, is because menstrual cycle.
Flo is on the flow.
Flow is on the flow. And it's freaking terrible.
So, you've talked about this before to me. You said that your period in particular is super, super painful. And I asked you if you had endometriosis because I've, heard that is painful. Mm-hmm. But you kind of teeter on that, right?
Yeah, I'm not quite there yet. My endometrial lining is thicker than it's supposed to be, but it's not quite to the point where they would have to be super concerned about it. Like it's definitely something they watch very closely.
Okay. So periods for you then are like a week of hell, like intense pain,
Pretty much.
Like what's some of the symptoms that you go through?
The first time I got it, we'll bring it back there.
Okay.
The first time I got particularly bad periods, I was about 15 or 16, and I woke up and I felt horrible. I was feverish. I was vomiting. My side really, really hurt. And I tried to get up to get to my parents, and I almost passed out because the pain intensified when I got up.
Wow.
So they rushed me to the hospital because they thought I was having appendicitis. And come to find out, I had an ovarian cyst that ruptured.
At that young?
Yep.
15, 16? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah. And keep in mind, I started my period right when I hit the age, but that small gap between 11 and 12, which is pretty common for most people.
that's the next question I was going to ask you. Like, I was at work the other day, and the guy I work with, his daughters, one is 10, and she already has her period. Is that normal nowadays, or?
It's not uncommon. I mean, some girls, like, even start younger than that, 8 or 9.
Really?
Yeah.
And is it... I've heard it's because of like hormones and stuff in the foods that we're doing nowadays. Do you think that's true?
That can be contributing, but also genetics plays a big part in it. Okay. Both me and my sisters suffer from the same thing, which is PCOS.
Which stands for?
Polycystic ovarian syndrome.
So you just... So that was the first bout then of that. So that's basically what, a cyst on your ovaries, right?
Now, normally, like, it can be pretty normal to get cysts on your ovaries. The problem is instead of mine going away naturally like they're supposed to, they either stick around or they rupture.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, okay, so it's normal to get a cyst, somewhat, on your ovaries, and then it can just go away, like resolve on its own, or does it have to be treated, or?
It can go away on its own. In my case, unfortunately, it will rupture, and then I will have excess fluid in my pelvis, because it's like a combination of, you know, various bodily fluids and blood.
Now, how many times have you had one rupture, or like, was that have you had it happen a lot more since the 15, 16? Oh
yeah, as I got older, it like got progressively worse. It was to the point where by about 16, 17, I was on Vicodin for cramps. Going up from there, since my body metabolized the medicine quickly, from Vicodin, they went to Percocet, and from Percocet, now if I get particularly bad bouts, I end up going to the hospital, and they give me Dilaudid injections.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So you have a period pretty normally, right? Like once a month?
Sometimes I could get them twice a month, or sometimes I'll get them not at all.
And is that because of this particular condition then? So painful periods, cysts on your ovaries, irregular periods, like all that's normal.
Heavy flows for their periods, breakthrough bleeding between cycles.
How in the hell do you prepare for that? Like,
oh, believe me.
Like, what does one do?
That's why I have like a whole kit in my bag, like with spare things. Someone will be like, "Oh, I know this is off chance, but you happen to have..." I'm like, "What kind do you need? You need regular? You need super? You want pads, tampons?"
Right.
Anything. I got it all.
Oh, speaking of which, I'm just curious, which do you prefer, a tampon or a pad?
My uterus is actually slightly tilted, which makes tampons not exactly the most comfortable. And also PCOS can make insertion of things kind of uncomfortable as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about that then.
Well, to answer that question, I actually use reusable pads because my vagina is super sensitive, and commercial pads tend to have a lot of chemicals and just, like, I don't know why I need a scented pad.
Well, hopefully no one's sniffing there when you're on your period, right?
Seriously, why does this need to be scented?
Oh, it smells like blood and flowers.
It's just like, oh, lovely.
Awesome. Sex and candy.
I'm just like, oh, ugh.
That's
wretched.
That's so weird. So then, was this kind of like a cloth pad that you came up with yourself?
No, actually, it's
Is there a company, or?
It's surprisingly common. You can, like, a lot of people on Etsy, like, make them at home, and
I had no idea this was a thing.
yep.
This is why we're talking about this.
Plus, it's more sustainable.
Yeah. Yeah.
The amount, I think I calculated it once, on how much in a year I was spending on, like, period products.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and it was definitely close to, like, $1,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
And yeah, and now that you say that, I'm thinking like tampons with plastic applicators that don't break down, that go into landfills, you know. I don't know.
And keep in mind, like, on average, like, it's 1 week a month, every month, until you hit menopause. Who freaking knows when that's gonna happen? I can't wait for it, honestly.
Right.
I can't. I'm just like, God.
And that can happen, what, usually 50s, 60s, or?
Depends. Some people can hit it in their 40s.
That's pretty early.
Yeah, my grandma didn't hit hers until, like, her 60s, which was, like, super disturbing for my mom because she thought she was pregnant at the same time as my mom was. So
oh my God.
My mom had, it's just like, ew, my parents are still having sex.
Icky, ew. So, okay, POC, right?
PCOS.
PCOS. Jesus, these acronyms, they're killing me. You
Yep.
realize I work at a phone company and acronyms all day long, right? So
PCOS.
PCOS, and you said a tampon because your pelvis is slightly tilted.
And
can be.
PCOS can also make insertion sex.
That's
can be
what I was
painful.
going to ask. So is it always painful?
Not in
Is it
particular.
unenjoyable? Is it?
For me, like, me and Honeybat have come up with, like, a whole routine where
Do you have a safe word?
we do actually. It's pineapple, but it's pineapple. But that's besides the point.
Pineapple.
But no, we use extra precaution. Like, he definitely preps me better. We use lube, even though, you know, I produce lube naturally, but we still,
Right,
that
yeah.
little extra helps.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
And eventually, since I'm particularly sensitive and sometimes switching condoms can be an issue for me, we've made the decision that Honeybat will be getting a vasectomy in April.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep, we're to the point where we're just like, no kids. Done.
Wow. And now you just brought up another interesting point, because all this is live. Like, we don't rehearse any of this, and you and I really don't talk about stuff outside of doing this YouTube. So these questions I'm hitting you with are like live, on the spot.
True, but
And we suck at editing, so you're getting the raw deal, right?
I'll be getting that in April.
You're getting a lot better at the editing. I don't get it at all. Anyway, holy shit, where was I going with that? So with you said condoms. Mm-hmm. You use condoms.
Yes.
Interesting.
Oh Lord, why?
Now, do you use... Stay with me. Do you use condoms because you just don't want to get pregnant, you don't want to take the pill, or does this go into the whole other topic that's going to come soon, I hope, of open marriage? Oh, this is exciting.
A little bit of everything, actually. I was on the pill, and I was for a very, very long time.
I'm fascinated.
And, well, first of all, I actually, I wouldn't technically classify it as a miscarriage, but it was an unviable pregnancy. And I didn't even realize that it had happened until I started feeling odd, and I was bleeding more than usual, and I was passing like blood clots that looked different than normal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I went to the doctor, and they're just like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, your pregnancy isn't viable anymore." And I'm just like,
What pregnancy?
I was like, pregnancy? I was like,
Oh, wow.
And,
Is that fairly recently, or?
is this about a year ago or so?
Okay, so yeah, that's
And,
fresh.
like, as terrible as it is to say, it was like a blessing for us, because we don't want kids.
Right.
Like, we absolutely do not want to have kids, and should we come to the point where we do, we will either foster or we'll adopt.
Yeah.
Because I have, like I said, a lot of reproductive issues, as well as a lot of mental health issues, and I don't think that I could go through, like, with a full-term pregnancy.
Yeah.
But PCOS can also cause infertility issues in women.
Wow.
It does mess with your hormones a lot.
Are you wicked evil with it?
I'm too.
Does it make you mean, or?
No, I'm so miserable. I just want to be left alone.
Oh, okay.
So, like, I will literally sleep. Like, over the last 2 days that I had off, I probably slept maybe 12 hours a day, just because I was exhausted from doing nothing.
Wow.
And
That's crazy.
I actually consider myself semi-lucky, because PCOS can cause a lot of issues that both my sisters have actually suffered through. You can get higher levels of testosterone, so you'll start growing like facial hair. Yeah, it makes pregnancy like super difficult, and you can miscarriage a lot easier.
Jiminy.
It can cause obesity, and which can lead to diabetes.
Right.
It can even cause like problems with your heart.
Wow.
So
So there's a lot of factors
yep.
involved with that.
And unfortunately, like, for me, I also got the point where I got really fucking bad cystic acne, which is extremely painful.
So, like, on your face or what? Just pimples? Well, how's it different than regular acne?
Okay, so you know how, like, you have a cyst and you would press on it and it's, like, super hard? And you have to go get it, like, lanced or cut open to relieve the pressure?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, except on your face.
Oh.
So with like a whitehead, you know, it has the stereotypical like white spot where you can actually see.
Hits the mirror. Love it. When I was a teenager. Yeah.
Whereas with cystic acne, there is like no head to it.
Oh.
Yeah, and it just kind of like builds up and turns into this like really like hard freaking nodule, and it is so freaking painful.
Really?
Yeah.
Like sore or just like pain? Like.
Basically, it's just something growing under your skin that's solid, and it's just like, okay. I'm like, it's inflamed, or it has inflammation. It's just.
How do you? I mean, you're not gonna go and get a tube of Clearasil and clear that up.
Oh yeah, I know that.
What clears that up?
So, with that, I am actually on a pill called spirulactin, which is a hormone blocker.
Okay.
So it's basically used to block the hormone androgen, which also helps with testosterone, if I'm not mistaken, which kind of levels everything out. I've only been taking it for like maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks. I've noticed my leg hair started growing in slower. It's odd.
Really? So,
But
so whatever testosterone that women have, whatever amount, then perhaps it's like putting a damper on that, slowing it down. Wow. It's kind of fascinating what medicines can do. Like,
well, because everyone has like a mix of all the hormones. It's that very delicate balance that you have to maintain. And sometimes it gets out of whack and weird shit happens.
wow.
Like, there are women out there that can straight up grow like full on beards better than any dude I have ever seen. And I'm just like, wow.
That's crazy.
And the first thing I asked when the doctor prescribed these pills to me, I was like, I'm not gonna grow a mustache, am I?
What do you say?
She's like,
Or she?
she's like, no, quite the opposite, actually. I'm like, oh, I'm like, good.
They're like, good. It'll fall out if they do.
I'm like, I don't need a mustache.
So, like, that the bearded ladies from the circuses, could this possibly be something that they had in, like, something like what you had and they didn't know it, and they're just full on growing a beard, and then
honestly,
someone's coming along going, oh, you're a freak, and here they actually have a medical condition.
Honestly, yeah, it definitely could be one of the reasons that happens. I mean, as you get older, you naturally start producing like less estrogen as a woman, so you're gonna get weird hairs in weird places. Okay, it's inevitable, happens to most people. It is what it is. But in this case, you're getting a lot of hair in places you're not supposed to have.
Got you. So, this week you're doing the flow, the menstrual cycle, and is it a particularly painful week for you? Like,
not this week actually. Like, I always feel super blessed when I get like normal cramps. I'm just like, oh yes, it's normal, thank God. Everyone's just like, you're happy about these cramps, and I'm like, you don't understand.
Right.
You don't understand.
Well,
I'm like, it's like having someone take a knife and just twist it in there. I'm like,
yikes. That's yeah, and I keep shifting because like I have the fibromyalgia and it's painful, and we'll talk about that sometime. We'll do a video on that, and yeah. So I know pain. I feel you, and you and I had this conversation about pain. That pain is pain, regardless of what's causing it, and people experience pain differently. Some people have high pain tolerance, some people have same, or else I don't know, probably wouldn't get out of bed most days. But so this kind of let's talk about, because now I'm fascinated with periods and things, and for some, well, really kids shouldn't be watching the show, but in case a young girl has stumbled across this, what exactly is the purpose of a period? What is released? I as a man, I've heard that it cleanses you, it gets rid of eggs. Is that right?
It just gets it's your body's way of being like, okay, you didn't produce a offspring this month, so now we flush everything out. So
it's like a restart.
Yep. Flushes out the endometrial lining, which is why you bleed, and everything just goes out. Beforehand, before you start your period, you might get discharge, which is normal.
Okay.
It happens. And then about, I can never remember if it's a week or 2 weeks later, that's when you start ovulating, which is your window to have a baby.
So what actually happens during ovulation then? What does that mean? You're ovulating, like,
It's like the optimal time to have a kid. Like,
is there like more eggs? I'm confused. Like, I really don't know what is there.
I have never actually truly like delved into ovulation, just because I've never myself
Had a desire to have children,
like
so-
really wanted to have kids.
Right.
But I know it's just like the perfect time. Like, your body temperature is slightly higher, which makes it more inhabitable to sperm. And
Because I know there's like apps and shit out there that can track that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's some women that are really on top of that. That, you know, I guess want to have children, so they stay on top of that.
what's funny is I actually don't use an app. I have a daily planner, and I write down when I start feeling crampy, when the bleeding starts, when the bleeding ends, if there was any like weirdness to it, like any particular weird pains or any weird like clotting or discharge or stuff like that. I don't know why, I just prefer to write it myself.
Oh, I mean, that makes sense. And then that's something. Oh, we have another visitor. We had to lock Jinx out of the recording room today because Jinx was a little wild today, a little active. We thought she'd be swinging from the lights.
Probably.
And this one never comes out to see me, ever. I'm probably going to be bitten.
Oh no, you won't.
No,
This is Mystique.
Mystique.
This is my old lady.
She won't let me pet her. Hi, Misty.
She's the one I call my cancer kitty.
Cancer kitty?
Yeah, she has cancer.
Oh.
Yeah. She has small cell lymphoma of the liver.
Oh.
It's in remission right now, but
Wow.
yeah.
Well, that's cool. I'm glad you're in remission, Misty. Pretty white cat. Pretty white cat.
With the evil face, she's just like, that's my face right there. She's a daddy's girl.
So,
But
what else do we need to know about this topic, do you think? If someone's going through similar symptoms, and because you started early, right? Pretty early.
it started about average age between 11 and 12.
Okay. So, but this particular condition, can it strike a woman, let's say, in her 30s, or would it had to have an onset early on?
I'm not gonna say it can't, because it's still very unexplored. Like, there isn't a lot of ideas about why it happens, or like they can tell you, it's genetics or environment or something like that, but they can't really like pinpoint what causes it.
Wow.
But my big thing is, if you feel like there's something wrong, go to the doctors and push them, like tell them, because you never know. Unfortunately, a lot of women's issues tend to present very similar symptoms. It's just like, oh, okay, I have a really bad cramp. It's an ovarian cyst, or it's cancer, and it's just like,
exactly. And I kind of think that, I don't know if you're old enough to remember Gilda Radner from Saturday Night Live.
Vaguely.
Super funny comedian back in the day, and she was having, female issues like that, and was basically told, kind of blown off, brushed under the rug, whatever. And she ended up passing away because she, had full-blown cancer. And
Super.
yeah. And, she not taken seriously, I guess. And so, we had just talked about if something's wrong, say something,
Seriously,
right?
don't let people tell you your business about your body. Like,
yes.
if you think there is something wrong, push until you get the results. Because there have been plenty of times. Hell, Zappa freaking died of prostate cancer.
Is that what he died of?
Yeah, he died of prostate cancer. Most people think it was because he had like lung cancer. Nope, it was prostate cancer that the doctors didn't even bother checking for.
Oh, wow. Yep. Did not know that. Yeah, so, and if you don't think you're getting the proper answers from your doctor, fire them.
Get a second opinion.
I have fired plenty of doctors in my lifetime. And I always tell people, remember that 50% of doctors graduated in the bottom half of their class. Correct? Because you got the 50% at the top and you got those who are under. So if your doctor's not good, get rid of them. Find someone who will listen to you, take your problem serious, and hopefully get it under control. Would you say yours is well controlled, better controlled?
It's definitely better controlled, and it's, I'm not going to say mild out with age, but has definitely sort of mellowed out as I get older. But if you don't want to be on birth control, don't force yourself to, because that can cause issues as well. Basically just do what's best for you. Like whatever you think works for you. You want to take all the medicine that the doctors give you, take all the medicine the doctors give you. You want to go the more natural route and just smoke hella weed and do it that way, do it that way.
Yeah.
It depends on what you want to do for yourself.
No, I totally agree. It's like your choice. Do you take the chemicals they give you? And if they help, great. If they're not helping, don't take them.
I'm like a mixture of both.
Yeah.
Like,
some natural,
if
some
I have
chemicals.
cancer, I'm not going to be like, this crystal is going to heal my cancer. No, I'm going to get the chemo, but I'm probably also going to smoke like hella weed.
Right. And rub a crystal on your breast or something. I don't know.
Hold the crystal to make me feel better for my anxiety.
Right? Right? And we should talk about that sometime too, because that's fascinating. I think I told you I was at work the other day, and we work with this lady. I don't know. She's like a good witch, right? And I was telling her about the stomach problems I've been having the past couple weeks, and I don't know what it is. I have an ulcer. I don't know. But anyway, she did her little cool thing. She went, turn around, and I'm like, okay.
Oh, is this about the energy transfer?
Yeah, and she went, like she flapped like a bird, and then she put her hands from behind me on my stomach, and they were hot as pokers, like red fucking flaming hot. I could feel it. And she's like, there, that'll help for a little bit. And I was like, oh, but damn, this woman's magical.
I know.
I don't know how she does it. She's like, and she's done. Like a little ninja bird.
But yes, we decided this is going to be a two-parter.
Yes. So I guess, we'll wrap it up for this part. And then next part, we'll actually get into the vagina.
Which most people spend most of their lives trying to do, so.
Good point. You come out of it and you try to get back at it.
At least.
Well, some people. I'm not trying. But anywho, this is my high.
This is Flo.
And we will see you next time.